Namo Amituofo Buddha. Hello everyone. So today I feel like talking about the 4 categories of Nianfo. So usually when we talk about the Nianfo method, we think about reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha one-heartedly. So this is actually one type of Nianfo known as the oral recitation method, and this is the most commonly used, most commonly practiced, and it's highly recommended by all Pure Land patriots. So this is also what we practice in our daily sessions, and also this is my main practice. But there are also 3 other categories of Nianfo methods. So there are in fact many ways to Nianfo, but all these different methods all fall into the 4 different categories. So the first one is the oral recitation method that I just mentioned, by reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha repeatedly, one-heartedly, and by having faith, vow, and practice, we can seek rebirth to the Pure Land. And the second is to visualize an image or a statue of Amitabha Buddha. So if you have an image of Amitabha Buddha at home or a statue, then you can look at it all the time. So you can be mindful of Amitabha Buddha. And for the detailed method, you can look at the 13th visualization method that is mentioned in the Visualization Sutra. So the purpose is also for us to be mindful of Amitabha Buddha. But this method is a bit more subtle and less portable than the oral recitation method, because you actually need to bring an image with you everywhere you go and to look at it all the time. And when you don't have this image, then you may lose the mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. And the third one is the visualization method. So there are 16 different visualization methods that are described by the Shakyamuni Buddha in the Visualization Sutra, and one can practice any of the visualization method that is talked about there, or you can practice all of them, or a few of them, or just one of them. So the visualization method helps us to visualize the Pure Land, the sceneries of the Pure Land, and also Amitabha Buddha. So for anyone, if you want to practice the visualization method, you can't just visualize randomly in according to your own wish, but you actually need to read the Visualization Sutras in details, and you actually have to follow the steps that are talked about in the Visualization Sutra, and you practice in accordance to the sutra. That is called the correct visualization method. Otherwise, if you don't practice in accordance to the sutra, that is called the incorrect visualization method. So that is talked about by Shakyamuni Buddha in the sutra as well. And the last one is called the real mark Nianfo. So this is actually the most difficult Nianfo practice out of all the 4 different categories. So this is also the practice adopted by some Chan practitioners to help them realize samadhi. So this is really to realize from the principle level that our Buddha nature is no different from Amitabha Buddha's Buddha nature. Therefore, our true nature of the mind is also no different from Amitabha Buddha's true nature of the mind. They also made the inquiry, who is reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha? Then one may also become the Amitabha Buddha who recites the name of Amitabha Buddha. But this is actually the most difficult. It's not so easy to just say, oh yes, our Buddha nature is the same as all Buddhas, therefore I'm also Amitabha Buddha, I'm also Guan Yin, I'm also Shakyamuni Buddha. So on the principle level, on the theory, this is not wrong. Our Buddha nature is indeed no different from the Buddha nature of Amitabha Buddha, and the Pure Land is indeed not away from our Buddha nature. But to realize this, to achieve this, we actually need to be completely enlightened. We need to become a Buddha to say that, or otherwise with our current state of practice, current state of cultivation, with our current state of mind, our mind is still hundreds of millions of Buddha lands away from the mind of Amitabha Buddha. We have not done so many countless of eons of practices like Amitabha Buddha. So although on a principle level our Buddha nature is no different from Amitabha Buddha's Buddha nature, but currently on a practical level, this is really difficult to achieve. It's not easy. Unless you are a Buddha, you have really realized emptiness. You have really dropped all your attachment, all your separation. You can really perceive everything as it is. You have actually become a Buddha, then you can say that. So that is why this is actually the most difficult, and it's not recommended for Pure Land practitioners. Also, for practitioners of the real mark Nianfo method, do not make the mistake in thinking that so the Pure Land is not away from our Buddha nature, Amitabha Buddha is not away from our Buddha nature, therefore there is no need to seek rebirth. The Pure Land doesn't really exist, it's just mind only. So a lot of practitioners may mistake and think that everything is just mind only and deny phenomena. So this is not to deny phenomena, not to abandon phenomena like I discussed in another video. Amitabha Buddha and the Pure Land, they also exist. Form is emptiness, emptiness is the form. So do not deny phenomena. It's unless you are confident that you can actually be a Buddha in this lifetime that you can adopt this method, or otherwise just stick with the oral recitation method. And also, we should not look down upon the oral recitation method and think that it's so easy. This is certainly not shallow, and by practicing the oral recitation method, if one realizes Nianfo Samadhi, one will also realize the real mark, the real phenomena. One will also see the Pure Land, one will see Amitabha Buddha. So Master Yin Guan also talked about this in his letters. You certainly should not think that oral recitation, holding the name, is shallow and follow other methods such as visualization, contemplation of an image or real mark Buddha recitation. Of the 4 Buddha recitation methods, only oral recitation is well adapted to the capacities of sentient beings. If one-pointedness of mind is maintained, the sublime truth of real mark will be fully revealed, and the extraordinary realm of the Western Pure Land will appear clearly. Therefore, you can achieve real mark through oral recitation. You can see the Western Pure Land without engaging in visualization. This method of recitation is precisely the wonderful door to the way, the most expedient path to Buddhahood. People today generally do not understand the teachings underlying the visualization or real mark methods. If they follow these methods, they may at times be subject to demons. Thus, the best approach is to select the easiest practice, which still leads to the wonderful fruit of enlightenment. Also, for one who realizes Nianfo Samadhi, one will still need to have faith and vow, to rely on the vow of Amitabha Buddha to help us seek rebirth. Unless you have really realized at a really high level of Samadhi, like the state of Guan Yin, like a Buddha, then you don't need. But if you just realize like a basic level of Samadhi, like the state of Arahant or the low level of Bodhisattvas, then you will still need to rely on the vow of Amitabha Buddha to seek rebirth to the Pure Land. Even the visualization methods is believed is too subtle. So you can go and read the text from the visualization sutra, then you will know that it's actually not so easy to visualize Amitabha Buddha, to visualize the Pure Land. So that is why the oral recitation is highly recommended. And also the oral recitation method is really the easiest, the simplest. One only needs to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha. You can do it out loud or you can do it in your mind. And this is so portable. You don't need to worry about carrying an image with you to look at it all the time, but you can just practice anywhere at any time. So you can cultivate the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. So I hope this is helpful. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amituofo.